My name is Mr. Richards, and I can't stop thinking about artist trading cards. Alright, so I'm going to talk about artist trading cards. So, what is an artist trading card? An artist trading card is a tiny piece of art that is meant to be, as the name implies, traded. So, a lot of artists like to trade artwork, but this can be kind of difficult for a number of reasons. One is that artworks oftentimes cost hundreds or thousands of dollars for artists to make, and another is it can be awkward to swap. If someone proposes a trade and you don't feel like the work that they've done is as good as yours, it puts you in kind of an awkward situation. So because of that, somebody came up with an idea called artist trading cards. And these are 2.5 by 3.5 inch pieces of artwork that you can swap with other people. And this is a pretty popular thing. There's a pretty big community around it. If you go to Comic-Con and meet with artists there, a lot of them do artist trading cards and will swap potentially with you. Here's some examples. This is my collection. A lot of these are student work. Some of them are ones that I made that I just still have in my collection. And you can see there's a lot of styles, a lot of different ways of making them, and they're pretty cool. Some of them are really beautiful. So anyway, that's kind of the idea. So for this project, I'm having everybody use different color schemes for each artist trading card. So you can kind of do whatever you want with them, except you need to try to fit a specific color scheme. Oh, I dropped one of them. That's awkward. Hold on. There we go. Saved it. So let's take a look at some of the ones that I have. I pulled a couple out because they're good examples of different color schemes. So here's one a kid did. It's a picture of me holding a cat. This would be achromatic, right? So there's no colors in it. No hues, so it's just black and white. So that would be achromatic. This one is a good example of like a tetratic color scheme, or a double complementary color scheme. So you've got two sets of complements. You've got the red in the blood and the green in the background, and then you've got blue in the shark and orange in the fishes. This one's a good example of a complementary color scheme. We got some orange in the hair and blue in the background. Here's another achromatic. Here's an analogous color scheme. So we've got reds and oranges and yellows. Here's another achromatic. Say what again? Here's an analogous color scheme. We got the oranges and reds and some yellows. Another analogous. Again, oranges, reds, and yellows. It seems to be popular for the analogous color schemes. Here's a monochromatic. So we only have one color in there. That'd be the red. I don't have a place for monochromatic ones. That's right. Another monochromatic. Just the yellow in it. Achromatic, really nicely painted black and white scene. Monochromatic, just using the yellow and the egg yolk there. Another monochromatic, spooky. Achromatic. So this one would be another tetradic. Tetradic? Tetradic? Triadic. No, not triadic. Tetradic. Or double complementary. So you got the green and the red. Then you've also got blue and orange. This is a good example of a split complementary. So you've got the blue in the background. And then the complement would be orange, but instead of that we've mostly got yellow and red. Another complementary color scheme with the red in the background and green in the mirror. Purple and yellow, complementary. Achromatic. So you get the idea. You can use different color schemes for each one and put them all together. So the main thing you need to worry about with this is what kind of paper you want to use and how you get it to the right size. So a thin kind of printer paper is not great for this because it's too thin. It doesn't hold up very well as a card. We want these to be like durable so you can carry them around and flip through them without having to worry about messing them up. So it's better if we can have some kind of cardstock. So the thicker the cardstock, the better, within reason. But a index card, got a little piece of index card like this, is not terrible. It'll work, and there's a good chance you have it around. You might also use some chipboard, like you'd have from a cereal box, or something like that. If you've got some mixed media paper or watercolor paper, those would be awesome. You also want to think about what materials you're using. If you're using a wet material, you want to have like a mixed media or watercolor paper. Alright, so I'm going to measure that to 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to measure this to 3.5. So it's really nice if these can be kind of measured out accurately and have a standard size to them. And the reason for that is it makes them easier to stack into a deck and flip through and trade. I think I measured that badly. Keep messing up my measurements. Oh, that was 3.25. It's supposed to be 3.5. Everyone makes mistakes. Alright. It's good to measure twice on both sides because it helps you get straight, accurate lines, but it also helps you catch mistakes. If you have a paper cutter, it makes it a lot easier, but scissors work as well. Alright, so then you can just cut that out with scissors. So I gave on the assignment measurements to make a set of 9 on one sheet of paper. You have to cut it down to, what, 7.5 by 11.5? And then you can make 9 of them on one sheet. But this is how you'd make an individual one. And especially if you're using index cards, you're not going to be able to fit all 9 on there. If you've got 4x5 index cards, you can probably get 2 from each card. If you have 3x5s, you're only going to be able to get 1 from each card. So there you go. And then you can put your drawing on there with all your different color schemes. Now, if you're using something wet, you want like a mixed media paper like this, or maybe a watercolor paper. This is also a little thicker, so that's kind of nice too. But, you know, use what you've got. It doesn't need to be super fancy or complicated. You could also potentially take regular paper, do your drawing on it, and then glue it or tape it onto some chipboard to thicken it up. A couple of my students did that with some of the ones I showed you earlier. And that is the basic idea. So I hope that helps you out a lot. And you understand how to do everything. All right. Thanks. Here are some examples of student work. You can see all the different color schemes in each of these. So there you go. Be creative, have fun. You can think about doing like a theme like you see here. And make sure you get all those color schemes. And that is it. Thanks.